Welcome to the Olympic rink at the Prince William Ice Center, where it's time for George Mason hockey as the Patriots face off with rival VCU in the second annual battle for the Commonwealth Cup. I'm Jeremy Huber, and we're so glad to have you along for the ride today. A big game for the George Mason Patriots. Despite their early struggles on the season, Pats can go ahead and jump into second place in their division with a win today. Huge, as they'll take on the Virginia Commonwealth Rams coming up from Richmond. VCU coming into the game with a 1-2-0 record. Their lone win, kind of a blowout, 19-2 over Northern Virginia Community College. So obviously the Rams can score a few goals. On the other side of things, of course, the team we're focused on, the George Mason Patriots. They're coming in a 7-game losing streak, but has been some tough games for George Mason. 1-7-1 at overtime loss. That overtime loss also in the conference. So again, doing okay in conference play. We will see what they can do today. A huge win for the Patriots. Again, Jeremy Huber here with you, joined today in the booth by Keelan Carpenter. Keelan, so very few times we get to have a chance to get an active player with us in the booth, so hoping for some great insights from you. Obviously, we heard from Coach Hajek, this is a big game today. Are the guys ready, in your estimation, for the spotlight?
This is a huge game for us, and yes, I think we are ready. We had a tough loss against CNU last night. They weren't in our league, but it was a good challenge for us, just like our entire preseason. And we lost the first two periods, and going into the third period, we wanted to kind of up the tempo so we could have, like, going into this game, we would have a great, just be ready for this. And we did that last night. We ended up winning the third period 2-1, and it kind of gets us all pumped up for this kind of game. And
obviously being pumped up like that, the passion of George Mason hockey, obviously looking to go ahead and play with that type of passion today against VCU. Hear more about some of the passion of George Mason.
Passion, energy, passion, electricity, energy, passion, fire, energy. GMU, Mason, hockey. Suit up or shut up.
And, of course, the guys talking about their passion on this game today, obviously getting after it. That'll be key in this matchup against VCU. Like to see the Patriots get off to the early start, and we will see if they can go ahead and get off to that early start, how things will go. Keelan, you think
turn on mic? Yes,
big
good.
Today for us to see
test 1 2 3.
Get a couple goals early on.
Definitely, we need to come out. We need to be physical. We all need to play our game. All of this comes down to being the individual play of all the players, because we have not been playing as a unit lately. We've been just playing our own games, which we need to do, but we need to play it right and just trust our teammates to make the right plays.
And we'll see exactly what those plays that can be made. We'll go ahead at this point and take our first chance to get down to the ice with our sideline reporter, Will Fleming.
Thanks, Jeremy. It has not been the best month for George Mason, losing 7 games in a row. So Coach Steve Hajek figured time to mix it up a little bit. Shaved his beard before this ball game, and well, the players took notice before the game. We've heard a lot about playoff beards in the NHL. I'm not sure I've ever heard of a clean-shaven look, but we'll see if George Mason can use that and turn things around. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Will. And, of course, this game today for the Commonwealth Cup, only in its second year of existence, but obviously we know how the rivalry between these two squads and really anything, these universities, how much they love to face off with each other. Obviously big when you have something at stake, the Commonwealth Cup, exactly what's at stake today. And let's hear a little bit more about what the Commonwealth is and what it means to these guys.
Last season we started something called the Commonwealth Cup, and it's the battle between Mason and VCU. It's a huge rivalry in basketball and pretty much all sports, and hopefully we take them down. And last year they came to our home and stole the cup, and now we're hopefully aiming to go back at them.
The VCU game is special to me because George Mason's always been kind of a rival with VCU, and I also have a lot of buddies on the team that I've played with previously, and I definitely like to beat them and regain the Commonwealth Cup.
They're always a team that we look in our schedule and say that's a big date right there.
The Commonwealth Cup is a great thing for us. We wanted to build traditions at George Mason hockey, and you have programs like the old brown jug, We wanted to do something that was unique to our two schools because there's been a long-standing tradition of a rivalry between George Mason and VCU. So what makes this game special is building on that tradition, having a trophy that's unique to the two teams. We've played each other every year. We've had very close games, never had more than a 1 or 2 goal differential. And also what's going to be really cool for us is that will be the day that we unveil our 3rd new jersey that we had designed for the team this year.
And almost ready for the puck to drop here at the Prince William Ice Center. But we want to remind you first that with locations all over D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, Glory Days Grill is the area's destination for good food, fun, and sports. Glory Days Grill is a proud sponsor of local sports and Mason Ice Hockey. Check www.glorydaysgrill.com to find your nearest Glory Days Grill location. And as always, play ball. And want to get quickly back to the Commonwealth Cup. And Keelan, obviously, you've had a chance to be around this. Your quick thoughts on what this means in this rivalry with VCU, having something kind of tangible to go ahead and play for.
It definitely increases the rivalry between us. The main reason that we did the Cup was because we've always had this tough rivalry and competition between the two teams. We've always been probably the same kind of skill level between us, and it's just made for great competition. And just having a Cup to play for makes it even better.
And obviously, we'll see how these two teams go and get after it. A couple of notes today we have to pass along. George Mason dealing with a few absences, as happens sometimes. Nelson De Silva, Dean Biasi, both out with family issues today. The other one, maybe even bigger than those two, we'll see Justin Setkowski. He injured his shoulder last night. And Setkowski, such an important player on this team. We saw him not only able to go ahead and have the skill of a scorer, but also just a big guy. His nickname's Fridge, and obviously he has good size at this level. Talking about a little bit of maybe what will have to be done to kind of make up for missing Justin in the lineup.
Well, the Fridge, he's a big guy. He can throw the body around a lot. So we are going to need to make up for that. He makes big hits, but he also has the hands of a scorer, which is great. So, I mean, the team is going to have to deal with that. They're going to need to play the body a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive on the puck. And just in general, we just got to play a great game because this is a huge for us.
And when we look at it, you go ahead and you talk about, with Biasi, or excuse me, Setkowski being out of the lineup, we'll see Coach Hijek saying maybe we'll see some of those defensive players maybe being on the going to offensive players, moving to the defensive side of things. We shall see exactly if they do that, how things go. The coach said kind of those defensive guys are going to go ahead and be able to have a chance to score a little bit. Let's get it out to the ice. So a nice presentation there to some of our sponsors of Mason Ice Hockey. Obviously, so important for you guys out there to have the sponsorship to get out there and play the game you love so much.
Yeah, we need the sponsors. I mean, unlike any other university sport, we are a club sport, and we end up having to pay dues. All of us individually pay for gas to get to the rink. We also pay for our hotels on the road trip. So any money coming in to us is a great help.
And we talked about some of our fine sponsors. We'll be talking about them a little bit more throughout the game. But almost ready for the puck drop here at Prince William Ice Center. Keelan, real quickly, maybe a key or two to this game for George Mason. Not to put you on the spot.
No, I know. We need to score. We haven't been scoring lately. We need to put shots on the net, and we need to control the zone. It's come down like our last few games. We have not been scoring a lot. We've been giving up shots, giving up goals, but we need to score. It's all about focus on offense today.
And you talk about that, some of the last few games, really in that 2 to 3 goal margin. And early in the season, some of those games that came down early on that were close games, but we shall see if they can go ahead and, like you said, get that scoring punch going. Looking out on the ice right now, George Mason maybe taking a little page out of the basketball team, using the yellow, some new jerseys there today. Do you like the new shade?
They're amazing. These are new alternate jerseys. Our coach even hid them from us for the whole beginning of the season. This is our first day of seeing them. Everyone on the team's first day of seeing them, so it's great. It hopefully sparks some energy in the team too.
And the puck drops, and it will be controlled by VCU as we are underway here at the Prince William Ice Center. Quick long pass out to Ford. Be taken back by George Mason on the boards. Ford driving with it. He'll pull up, taken away for a second shot near the net. That one off to the side and still in the defensive zone. Keith Fagerquist in the net for George Mason tonight. And Mason with a scoring opportunity, but taken back away by VCU, and they'll take the rush the other way.
Too many stick checks going on here. Need to play the body a little bit more.
Dump in by Ayler. And taken back by Talbot. And VCU trying to keep it in the Mason zone, but Mason will come through, dump it in, and we'll have a line change. Just a minute gone here in the first period. No score. George Mason and VCU playing for the second annual Commonwealth Cup. Dump back in across the blue line. And VCU looking to set up. And break the other way. Maybe some numbers for VCU. In the slot, kick it back.
It looks like VCU definitely has some quickness coming out the start here. Maybe GMU looking a little bit flat-footed.
Talk about that, looking for that good start.
It's key right now.
And only a couple minutes in, and now maybe a scoring chance here for VCU. Backhand, Fagerquist knocks it away and knocked away by Bach. Nice play. Bach moving from his forward spot to his defenseman spot today, looking for a little bit more, and a good job to sweep that one away. No rebounds left for the Rams. Schrader gets it taken away, and Mason will go the other way with it. Bach, slapper from the blue line, knocked away. Centering pass. Losing the edge is Sagan. And VCU controls the puck. That's Jake Arsenault in net. Scoring chance for Mason, knocked away by the VCU defense.
It was a great defensive play right there.
Corralled. Puck by Baker. He'll take it across the blue line. Looking in, gets it taken away. He goes down. As Christinger makes the play for VCU. A little end-to-end hockey here early on. Not a lot of scoring chances, though. Deep into the Mason end as Mandeville chases it down. Shot on net, and Fagerquist able to go ahead and cover up. And it is Jake Arsenault in net for VCU. So Fagerquist and Arsenault, your goalie matchup. And Fagerquist, the guy who started off in inline hockey. And in your estimation now, how does that kind of help his skills transfer over?
Well, personally, I started in inline too. It's way different. Can't slide on the ice, but I think we all agree that ice is just the better sports play and it's a lot easier. And he's brand new to the team. From what I've noticed, he's very consistent every game, which is very good for a team to rely on.
Shot on net, that'll be knocked aside by Arsenault. And now some numbers for second for VCU, but nice defensive play to keep it away. And we'll have an icing here, so bring it back down into the VCU end for the faceoff. So how do you feel about the tempo so far for George Mason?
I think they've come out pretty strong. I could see a little bit more, a little bit more quickness coming out. But both teams look pretty even as of now.
We'll have a face-off in the VCU end. Dylan Talbot will look to win it for George Mason. And it will be won by the Patriots.
And that's something the Patriots need to work on is face-offs wins, as we've been struggling with that lately.
Centering pass across the goal mouth. No stick can get on it. And into the corner, Rudzinski was looking to take over. Couldn't get it. Mason able to keep it in the zone. Nice play by Rodriguez. Shot on net, knocked away by the blocker on Arsenault. And VCU will recover again.
It's a good forecheck going on.
VCU in the all-black, kind of a Boston Bruins type look, while Mason in the gold jerseys and the black pants. Around the end boards. Bach will keep it in. Well, VCU gets it out, and Mason have to get back on sides. Jinski has the puck taken away in the corner. A nice check at the blue line by Vanderveen.
That was a good hit. It's what we need to see more of physical play this game, and that was a good example of it.
Quick shot. Look for the redirect by McFadden. Gets knocked away. Bach corrals it. Slapper, that one blocked. Got in. That one bounces by. Dribbling puck. Mason still trying to keep it in. And they will say they kept it in on that play. So good job by Mason to keep the pressure on VCU.
And that one hit led to all that offensive potential.
Over the stick of Gassel, but he'll go chase into the corner with Greenfield. Dillon was trying to handle the puck, almost handled it onto Arsenault in the net.
That was a great keep in.
Scoring chance. That one wrister, and it'll be saved. They will blow it dead. Saved by Arsenault with the glove hand. And obviously, that's one of those skills that, is that a tough skill to learn, the catching glove?
I guess it depends on where you, kind of how you grew up. I know a lot of goalies previously played baseball, and the hand-eye coordination's right there just with the catching glove. It's just easy. It's natural. It all comes. But, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to learn.
Arsenault with around an 87% saves average, points .866. Be knocked away and corralled by Bangert in the corner. And Mason looks to go on the offensive end. Long pass goes across the blue line. Say it's tipped, so no icing. VCU looking to clear. Great keep in by Mandeville. And he'll get away. And Baker off to chase it down. Just over 14 minutes left to go in our first period. No score. VCU and George Mason playing in the second annual battle for the Commonwealth Cup. All right, backhand to the end boards. Losing an edge is Prindle. VCU trying to set up some offense. And a nice check there in the corner. As Bangert was looking for the contact, and he got the worst of it. But go ahead, and this will have a stoppage, and I believe
Looks like a cross-checking penalty.
I have a penalty, and we'll see who goes into the box, and it will be George Mason. Alex Manville will go in. So now VCU with the man advantage. And so face off in the Mason end. Dylan Talbot against Robbie Ayler. And great job, Mason, to go ahead and clear that one out and make VCU waste some time on the power play.
We've been working a lot in practice about the penalty kill because we've been giving up some power play goals recently, and we're trying to step this up. And so hopefully we see an improved effort here.
Bring it in, it'll be Schrader. He'll dump it off behind the net. Looking for Ayler. Again, VCU taking their time. On the net, right out front of the blue line. VCU looking for that right shot. That one goes by and good. And gets by, and Mason will go ahead and clear that one out. Let's go ahead and get a sideline update from our Will Fleming, who's down on the ice.
Thanks, Jeremy. Head coach for George Mason has had to make some real adjustments here as he's lost 3 or 4 of his top skaters. And as a result, he has had to shift his assistant captain, Brian Bach, to the defense. He's a forward by nature, but he is back there on the defense, and he has free reign to rush the puck whenever he wants to. As a result, got to watch those wingers who were out there with Bach pinch back on the defense and cover their bases. Bach was out there to start this penalty kill, so something to watch as Steve Hijek gets the good skaters back on defense to be strong in the defensive end. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Will, and a nice save there. Mason able to go ahead and keep that one getting in the net. And now 48 seconds left in the power play. And again, Mason doing a good job really limiting those VCU offensive chances.
And that was a great save by Fagerquist, coming down on a small breakaway, but it's key, especially during this penalty kill. We want to keep it 0-0. Don't want to lose the lead yet.
And another great play on the stick check there by McFadden to knock it out. Takes it back by the blue line. Mason will change it up. Whitaker behind the net, looking to dish off. Nothing there. Now he'll take a shot on Fagerquist. That one will be saved. So number 13 between the pipes, lucky there. Able to go ahead, maybe just skillful. He goes ahead and stops another great save by Fagerquist.
And going back to Alex Mandeville with the cross-checking penalty, he's second leader in penalty minutes of the season. I know we've had a little bit of discussion to him not trying to take as many penalties because he's key on the ice.
Obviously, Mandeville has 6 points so far on the season, so one of the leading scorers, 3 goals so far. So Mandeville has been able to go ahead and get it done, had his presence felt. But like you mentioned, tough to have that presence felt when you're in the penalty box.
Correct.
Mason now, that one will go in off the pipe and into the net. So the score for VCU, and they jump on top 1-0 early on here, midway to the first period.
And that's tough because they were still shorthanded even though the power play was over. Mandeville went to the bench and had to get another person out on the ice, and they're still 4 men up front.
And I believe that's going to be credited to Colombo. I'll have to wait for official word. And he'll go ahead and face off taken by Ayler. It'll be won by VCU. And now Mason down 1-0 here, 11-12 left to go.
The good thing is Fagerquist made the first initial save. It was just the rebound needed to be cleared out, so not necessarily his fault on that one.
And it will be the goal by Colombo to put the Rams ahead 1-0 here as we're getting close to the midway point of the first period. Played along the boards. Get back out. Be chased down by Baker. A tall defenseman who will wind it around. Looking for his own man. Can't hook up, though. VCU gets the puck back now. Battle right at the blue line. Mason recovers. Now a chase for the puck. As Gassel was looking to take it away from Greenfield, but Greenfield now has some open ice. Looking for the check attempt. Not there. Greenfield runs into the boards, loses the puck. It'll be taken back by Baker.
Baker trying to make a nice breakout pass. A little bit interrupted.
He's down. VCU tries to clear, and they will as Greenfield gets it back. 3-on-3 shot. Fagerquist able to go ahead and hold it to the belly.
It's a good cover. Need that time.
So the save by Mason. That'll be Fagerquist's 5th save of the game. Actually, 5th shot on goal, 4th save. And it seems like so far, Keelan, that VCU is getting the better of the shots, getting maybe Mason's getting good shots, but it seems like VCU is getting maybe the better scoring chances.
Correct. Mason seems to be coming down and maybe throwing the puck on net from the blue line. It's a lot of shots on the rush where it seems VCU is actually being able to set it up and get scoring opportunities.
Fight behind the net. Mason will come away with it, but back over to VCU. And now pass along looking for that outlet to Prindle. Couldn't get the stick on it. And VCU looked to clear it out of the zone.
And Prindle's one of more of the unexperienced players, but he's definitely improved this season. We've been trying to work with him, and you know it's showing a lot more compared to when he first started.
I want to remind you that Thales Group, a world leader in defense, the Thales Group is setting new standards of excellence in advanced technologies. Find us online at www.thalesgroup.com. And now we will have a penalty call. That'll go on Matt Hirsch. Were you able to see that one?
It looked like a roughing. It was just a scrum along the boards.
It'll be a 2-minute penalty. So Mason will go on the power play, and VCU clears out. So Mason will have to go chase it down and start again. VCU penalty to number 12, Matt Hirsch. 2 minutes for cross-checking. It'll be a cross-check, so Hirsch will be in the sin bin. And Mason will be on the attack. Again, cleared out, and Mason will have to restart again.
Going to be looking for Mason to run the BU power play on this, get it set up, maybe shots from the point down low.
Now it's shorthanded chance for VCU. Fan on the shot. Puck knocked away at the last second there by Baker, and now Mason will reset. They will go ahead and say that one's offsides, and we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. David Stinson Sr. is your local Geico representative with more than 30 years experience. Stinson is more than just an insurance rep. He's a member of your community with offices in Gainesville and coverage all over Northern Virginia and D.C. for all your insurance needs. Contact David at 703-754-3555. That's 703-754-3555. So down halfway through, shot. That one stays alive and will be covered up by Arsenault. And looked like we had a chance at an empty net there, but Mason couldn't put the biscuit home.
That was a great save. The puck was just thrown on net. Goalie kind of misplayed it, left a rebound, but he was able to recover with a great save.
It looked like when he sprawled down to the ground, the upper part of the net. And as a goalie, what was your thinking? Did you want to go ahead and make the guy shoot it over top of you, leave something down low? How did you kind of approach a situation like that?
As the goalie, it really depends, but a lot of low shots are good, easy to cover, but that's a great goal right there.
And that'll go in as it's Jake Vanderveen with the score. As you said, just threw one on net and somehow it trickled through.
Yeah, the goalie seemed to, for some reason, come off the post a little bit too much, read his angle wrong, but yeah, that went right, squeezed right between the skate and the post.
And Vanderveen able to go ahead and tie things up. And a nice celebration gets the guys and the fans into that one. As Mason now with 8:11 left to go in the first has got the equalizer.
And that's what we were talking about before is we just got to throw shots on net. All about shots, anything can happen, and that's a perfect example right there.
And that'll be the third goal of the season for Jake Vanderveen. Only goals, no assists. So obviously he'd love to add to the assist too, but the guys will take the goal as we're back at even strength and Mason looking to get on the attack again.
That goal definitely helped the team right now, and it looks like they have a little bit more confidence.
Another one thrown on net, loose puck. Look for the backhand, not there. And another scoring opportunity, they keep it in. Slapper, that one knocked down. Again, Mason doing a good job to keep it in. Another slap shot that'll go off the skate of a defenseman, and now VCU with it. They'll be looking to have a chance at a breakaway here, and it gets off the stick. Colombo had another chance for a score. That was Ayler, had the chance, couldn't corral it, and now Mason comes back the other way. Talbot still has after bringing it across the blue line. McFadden throws it in front, not there. VCU back with it, and they'll take the long pass down and look for the changeup.
A lot of the down-low plays seem to be working for Mason right now, working behind the net, making some passes out front.
So again, into the neutral zone and dumped in as Mason will chase. And VCU clears it, and Bach will look to chase it down. Again, Brian Bach, usually a forward, the assistant captain, having to do some time on defense, throws one on net, and it'll be covered up as Arsenault able to keep the pad down that time. And as you said, Keelan, really keeping that puck, his pad close to the post and not letting it trickle through.
And you could see Bach's tendencies as a forward right there as he wanted to skate it up and kind of take it in, maybe get a shot or a goal.
Remember, you can purchase a copy of this broadcast at www.synthesismp.com, www.synthesismp.com. 6:25 and rolling here in our first period. George Mason and VCU all tied up at 1 apiece here in the battle for the Commonwealth Cup. Glad you could join us to bring you this George Mason hockey matchup, one of our 3 broadcasts on the year. Long pass, that'll be taken by Gassel. Couldn't get it on the stick. Throws it in front of the net, no one there. And a look to chase along the boards. And a quick scrum up there. Mason going to try and keep it in. VCU gets it out, and they may have some numbers. Puck knocked away. Be taken by Bach as he works behind the net. Taking his time and looking to set up.
Trying to get a good breakout pass here.
That time he will.
And that's good. That's good. They almost got an odd man opportunity there.
Gassel throws it back in front of the net. Look for the quick pass. That one off, no good. A rebound shot, not there either. And another good scoring opportunity for Mason.
Again, another pass from below the goal line.
Fagerquist almost gives up the juicy rebound, and now some contact in the crease, some pushing and shoving. As Gassel and one of the players for VCU, we'll see what happens there if they end up both going into the box. A lot of contact, and that's exactly what will happen. Gassel will head to the box for Mason. Taylor Horrocks will go in for VCU. How'd you see how that developed?
I think that's a good call by the refs right there. The shot came in. Fagerquist kind of messed up the rebound a little bit, but he was able to recover and get it, and then the goalie comes in on top, or the player comes in and skates on top of him, and as any kind of player, you know how to defend your goalie, and you know that's #1 important. So Gassel stepped up, which is great. And it's good to see that they both went away, not just one person.
So now the referees sorting this out. Looks like they're talking to Coach Hijack. What could this be?
There's another call on the play.
Okay. So it looks like it's going to be Sagan serving as well.
I'm not sure what the second call is for, but I'm sure that's why Coach Hijack was talking with the refs, wanting to get further clarification of what was going on.
So now it'll be VCU. Despite having the one man in the box, they'll go ahead and have the man advantage. 5-on-4 for the next 146. So it looks like Gassel gets the call for roughing and for charging. Horrocks gets the call for elbowing.
And because of the 2 penalties, another player has to serve Gassel's other.
That'll be dumped in, and as Mason looks to go ahead and clear another penalty. Let's go ahead and get a quick sideline update from Will Fleming, who's down on the ice.
Thanks, Jeremy. Keith Fagerquist, you saw the scrum right in front of him there, in front of his own net that caused 2 George Mason penalties. This is actually his first year as an on-ice goalie. He was an inline goalie for about 8 years before joining this George Mason club. And Steve Hijack gave him the option to pick one of these next 2 ball games. He picked this game against VCU, the Commonwealth Cup, to take the start. Hijack said that Fagerquist has taken some games on the chin and really kept them in them. So this his reward, and he has stood tall to this point. Back to you.
And I tell you, Will, you know a little something about standing tall, and that one will end up in the back of the net as VCU with a nice play on the power play, and they go ahead and get the goal and take the 2-1 lead.
That was a beautiful cross-ice pass. Really, there should be a defenseman in front of the net be able to take that pass away, especially on the penalty kill. But again, this is what's been hurting the Patriots, is a lot of these giving up these penalty power play goals.
That power play goal, I believe that's going to be credited maybe again to Colombo. But again, the more important thing is that George Mason again trailing 2-1, and we saw that. I remember one of the few games I had a chance to see against George Washington. That was a problem with the penalties, and Coach Hijack thought maybe the whistle a little bit too tight in that game, but it seems like definitely the penalty box is hurting George Mason, as it does with all hockey teams.
Yeah, the refs in the George Washington game seem to be calling this a little tight, but these refs tonight, they seem to be letting them play a little bit.
And Matt Colombo will be credited with that goal, and of course was the second leading scorer for VCU throughout the first 2 games of the season. Michael Schrader really had things going for VCU in those early games, scored 8 goals and had 9 points in the first 2 games of the season for VCU. So, but Colombo, a guy that you got to watch, and he's been able to go ahead and find the net twice here tonight. Pass across in front of the goal, fanned on the chance.
That was going to be a goal. That was an empty net, and if he just got a stick on it, that would have been a goal.
He does not. And George Mason dodges a bullet there. Don't want to get down by 2 goals here. Stay in that 1-goal range, and shots on goal so far. Mason has gone ahead and got that number in their favor, 11-9, but again, the 2-1 score on the board.
The Patriots really just need to control the slot area right now. They seem to be getting kind of confused, losing their men, and letting a lot of passes get through.
And that time, Mason able to control. Now they've got maybe some numbers here. Bach will pass it off. Backhand in front of the net. No one there. Looking for Prindle, crashing to the net. Couldn't find him. Now VCU will try to go ahead and get their numbers, and they will lose control on the puck, dump it in, and make Mason chase.
In that opportunity, you just got to get the puck on net when you're coming down. You have 3 guys crashing the net. You know, something might happen.
Pass off, and it will say offsides. And Mason will go ahead and have to go ahead and have a face-off in the neutral zone. We're going to step aside for 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching George Mason Ice Hockey.
Hi, I'm Craig Laughlin. You're watching George Mason Hockey. Go Patriots!
Always good to hear from the locker. Craig Laughlin, really a guy, I think I said on the last broadcast, as they have a chance for a goal here. This one on the net, no good. The scrum in front, and Mason cannot have a chance to go ahead and score, but a good chance there.
And the opportunity was created by the ref skate, actually.
Sometimes that happens. That bouncing puck can really be your friend or your foe. Adams had it, lost it off the stick. And now VCU looks for the counterattack.
It's a good bad check by the Patriots to get in there.
Checking the ice. Now taken away. And looking for a breakout there will be Baker. And Mason back with it.
Baker, again, another freshman to the team. Really solid D-man. Likes to step up, can take a wonderful shot. And he's just been a key addition.
Obviously, he's got some size as well, as he'll go ahead and chase this one down behind the net. 45 seconds and rolling here in the first period, and the final seconds of it. And VCU with a scoring chance. Going to the ice will be Dillon. No penalty called. Mason fights for the puck behind the net, able to get it. And they'll look to break out. Wild pass there. It'll be chased down behind the net by Rudzinski.
15 seconds left in the period. Hopefully we can do something here.
And it looks like Mason content to clear it out. VCU was trying not to lose it. Almost did. Now wind it around. Slapper back down the ice, and that should do it for our first period. Now they will go ahead and call icing on this, so we'll have a face-off down in the Mason end. We thought would run the clock out, but 1.5 seconds left. If you're VCU, what are you looking here to go ahead and maybe get a quick shot on net?
Maybe get a quick shot right off the face-off. Hopefully maybe the center can just take a quick shot, snap it on net, and Mason's just going to want to control it. They want to dig down on the puck, have no opportunities created.
Looking for the shot on the face-off, not there. Bach will control, and we will go to the end of one period with George Mason trailing VCU 2-1 here at the Prince William Ice Center. I want to remind folks that with locations all over D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, Glory Days Grill is the area's destination for good food, fun, and sports. Glory Days Grill is a proud sponsor of local sports and Mason Ice Hockey. Check www.glorydaysgrill.com to find your nearest Glory Days Grill location. And as always, play ball. And obviously, Glory Days is such a fine sponsor for us here on George Mason Ice Hockey. Also, remember that if you'd like to purchase a copy of this broadcast, you can do so at www.synthesismp.com. That's www.synthesismp.com, as you see on your screen. And, of course, VCU looking to go ahead and see what they can get going here. They're talking over their coaches. Same thing here with George Mason, the short intermission between periods. Want to also let you know that Talus Group, a world leader in defense, the Talus Group is setting new standards of excellence in advanced technologies. Find us online at www.talusgroup.com. That's www.talusgroup.com. And we're going to step aside for 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching George Mason Ice Hockey.
I'm the Fridge, and you're watching GMU Ice Hockey on Glory Days Grill TV.
And we're back and almost done with the short intermission. And is that usually the way we see it here with the club level? You have the one longer intermission and the one shorter intermission?
Yeah, typically we'll see the first 2 periods played just along, a little bit of break in between, and then the second and third periods we'll get an ice cut. Because I guess at the higher level of play, the ice is going to get a little bit more choppy, so we definitely need the ice cut.
Now, does that throw you off, or is that kind of the way you come up through the ranks of kind of playing that shortened intermission sometimes?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you play travel hockey, a little bit of junior hockey, it's all 15-minute periods actually, not 20, and there's no ice cuts. So I guess as you develop, it's kind of a different thing getting here, being like, I guess as a freshman, a little bit thing to understand. You need a little bit more endurance to last through these periods, but the break is definitely needed.
And we are almost ready to start off the second period with George Mason trailing VCU 2-1. Face-off, Talbot versus Ayler. That'll be won by George Mason. Looking for the shot that'll be knocked aside by Greenfield as Rodriguez took the chance. Behind the net, thrown it on net, nothing there, and VCU will take it the other way.
And I'm sure what was talked about in the break is that Coach Hijack for the Patriots, wants them to play like they did the first 10 minutes of this game, control it a little bit. And for VCU, just keep up what they're doing. They seem to be playing a pretty solid game right now.
And for the slapper, cross-ice pass. That one bounces over the stick of Ayler. Couldn't get it to go, and now Mason will track it down in the corner. Quickly other way, and now will be an icing call, so that'll bring it back down to the Mason end. We'll see the face-off down there, 5-on-5 hockey, as VCU will change it up. And obviously early on here, just 44 seconds gone in the second period. As Mason again with the face-off in their own end of things. VCU will keep it in. And now fight for it. Mason trying to clear it out. But VCU has a chance. They keep it in. They'll shoot one behind the net. Coming in will be Schrader. He'll dish it off back out to the blue line looking for Dillon. Now they'll knock it back in behind the net. And a good steal away by Dylan Talbot. And now right back in, so Mason still can't get the puck out. Having to play a little more defense than they would like.
VCU has they're one of their top scorers out there right now, so they're looking to get an opportunity, maybe get the puck to him, get some shots on net.
Chance, that'll be off the pad and saved.
Was a good rebound cover right there. Getting that covered, make sure no rebounds, shots are on net.
Arsenault doing a good job as going high, and Arsenault not the tallest of goalies. Obviously, usually it can be mixed and varied. In your experience, better be a taller or shorter goalie?
It seems most likely that goalies are a little bit shorter. I think the average height for a goalie in the NHL is around 5'11", so it's typically a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit quicker. But big goalies do have an impact on the ice.
Well, numbers. VCU looking for a pass in the slide. That'll be knocked away, though.
It was a great defensive play by Bach, laying down to take that shot.
Nice save again by Fagerquist, and Mason will take it the other way. So a couple good defensive plays. You mentioned Bach playing defense today. Good job to get in and stay in that passing lane, and a good save by Fagerquist.
And I know we're talking with Bach before that in his younger years when playing travel hockey, he used to play defense, but I know he knows that's his natural position. He's more of a forward. So I think it's a little bit disappointing for him, but he still will enjoy to play it.
I want to let you know that you can tweet your thoughts, hashtag GMU Hockey. Let us know what you think about the broadcast or what you think about how things are going so far for George Mason. And they can come back and go ahead and get the lead in the matchup as they trail 2-1 here with 17:30 to go. I'll let you know that shout out to Taylor McQueen. And at Taylor McQueen, she says, wants to let you know, make that power play happen, GMU. A couple exclamation points as well. Bach, 2-on-2. That one almost poked in.
Rebound off in the corner. The goalie had no clue.
Now it looks like on that play, as Gear went to the net, maybe came up a little bit injured. Can't get in. Fagerquist makes the save, and he will cover up. What a play. It looked like another open net there, but Fagerquist able to go ahead, knock it down, then fall on the rebound. And Mason could have been down 3-1, but a good play by the guy in net.
Two excellent saves there. Mandeville should have probably had the hit on the player, let him get around him. Can't be having that happen the rest of the game.
Now, we talked about Mason being a little bit short-handed already. Looks like Connor Gear, when 2-on-2, ended up running into the goaltender maybe and looked like he was bent over a little bit. Don't know if it was a shoulder or what it was. We'll see if he comes back out on the ice. And now looks like Mason, another power play for VCU as Mason's called for the penalty.
Again, Alex Mandeville with another penalty, a little bit hurting the team here.
Always tough, giving that other team a chance, and VCU able to make Mason pay the last time. We're going to call that hooking on Mandeville.
And that penalty developed purely from him letting the guy get around him and then trying to stop him after he had already got by him.
So VCU deliberate.
Dylan Talbot with a great shot block there.
Colombo was winding up looking for his third goal of the game. Can't find the puck, and he'll be knocked off of it as Adams comes up and takes Colombo to the ice. Not the biggest of guys, and definitely that time Adams using his extra bulk to put him on the ground.
You can see Brian Bach's speed here trying to get the forecheck going, even though they are on the penalty kill.
But Bach making VCU waste some precious time as Greenfield will take it behind the net and have to set up. Across the neutral zone. There'll be Ayler with it into the corner, throws it behind the net. Bach's there, though, to go ahead and control the puck. Be fought for in the corner. Loses control. VCU trying for the centering pass. Not there. Looking for the slapper. That'll be shot on net. No good. Another save.
Could clear the rebound with the defense there.
And get it out into neutral ice. And VCU will have to go ahead and reset. They'll throw it down in and look for a quick change. Couple guys as Fagerquist plays the puck. Now loose behind the net. And a good job there by Baker to knock it away and waste precious time for VCU. And cleared out, and that may do it for the penalty. 13 and now down to 10 seconds left. So Mason should get the man back and be back to even strength.
Now they just got to get their man back on the ice in the play as quick as possible.
And they will change it up as now Sagan will come back in for Mandeville, who takes a seat on the bench. Now Bach with it, but maybe some numbers here. 2-on-2. Loses control of the puck, and he'll come back and regather. Shot to the net, and it'll be Arsenault able to go ahead and cover up. But again, a little pushing and shoving in front of the net.
And again, that little just flip on net, maybe create an opportunity. He did give up a rebound, but no one was there to take advantage of it.
Locations all over D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Glory Days Grill is the area's destination for good food, fun, and sports. Glory Days Grill is a proud sponsor of local sports and Mason Ice Hockey. Check www.glorydaysgrill to find your nearest Glory Days Grill location. And as always, play ball. Or play hockey in this case. Looking for the shot that'll be knocked down by a stick of a VCU defenseman. Chance in front of the net, and it'll be covered up by Arsenault. And again, more pushing and shoving in front of that net.
Arsenault seems to be controlling his rebounds very well right now. He's making the first save and then able to recover and get it covered.
But it will be a face-off in the VCU defensive end. And we'll see what Mason can do with it, trailing 2-1. Mason leading again in shots on goal, 16-12. But the most important thing on the scoreboard, trailing by 1 goal. Mason wins the face-off. Puck fought for along the boards. To be taken back. Now VCU back with it. Fight again, looking to keep it in. They cannot, and George Mason will have to go chase it down as applying some pressures. Taylor Horrocks for VCU.
And Talbot will take it back and try to set up this breakout with a great pass into the zone.
Rodriguez waited for a second, then tried to throw it in towards the net, had it knocked away by a defenseman. Fight for it, and it'll be Talbot coming back with it, trying to get loose in between 2 VCU defensemen. He'll retain possession of the puck, was looking for the centering pass. Rodriguez knocked up in the air, and Mason again with it. Fighting in the corner, and VCU able to get control of it, trying to get it out, and they will, but controlled by Baker.
He almost kept it in, but it was a good play to throw it back in the zone, not lose it.
Again, putting some pressure on for Mason. Nice centering pass on the backhand by Gassel. But VCU back to control. And now It'll be Fagerquist was going to cover up, but you hear the shouts of move it, so he keeps it going.
The refs are not going to freeze they're not going to whistle the play dead if there's no one around pressuring him.
Well, VCU dumps it in, looking to chase behind the net is Ford. He's pinned against the boards by Mandeville. Again, fight for that puck. Centering pass, that one not there. Throwing it on net. VCU tries to keep it in. They'll get back around, doesn't get to the boards. As Ayler with it. But now taken back away by Baker, and he'll look for some numbers, a 3-on-2 here. As Baker carries it into the offensive zone, he'll throw it on net. That one gets by the goalie.
Looked like it might have clipped his glove a little bit.
Chased down by Gassel, and now knocked back out into the neutral zone, into the Mason defensive end, and Bach will get possession. Bach showing some speed, trying to go ahead and keep that one in, but long pass out. Now a scoring chance by VCU. That one will be saved, still loose. Can they get it to go in? No, it will be saved by Fagerquist, able to go ahead and get on top of it. And now, again, some rough stuff behind the net. And I guess maybe a byproduct of so many close-in scoring chances with a couple guys on that puck. We're seeing a lot of guys after the play with some little extracurriculars. And we're going to step aside for 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching George Mason Ice Hockey.
I'm Jacob Vanderveen, and you're watching Mason Hockey on Glory Days Grill TV.
And welcome back to the Prince William Ice Center. 12:04 left to go in the second period as VCU leads George Mason 2-1 in the battle for the Commonwealth Cup. Jeremy Huber here with you. Keelan Carpenter alongside Will Fleming, our sideline reporter. And we will have a face-off in the VCU end. It'll be Dylan Talbot taking it for VCU and chased out of the circle, so they will switch up for the Rams. But the face-off won by VCU, but it'll be kept in by Mason. Looking for the shot on goal. Mandeville, that one went off the blocker, off the pads, excuse me, and it stays in for Mason. And let's go get a quick update from Will Fleming, who's down on the ice.
Here with Mark Gottlieb, and Mark, a real special ceremony before the game here today. You and your wife Sharon made a very generous donation to the George Mason hockey program. Tell us why Mason hockey means so much to you.
Well, you know, I believe college is really important in all kinds of ways, and sports is a very big part of college, actually. And I love the team, and I have some friends that are involved with the team, and they asked me to step out and help out, and I thought this would be a great opportunity, so we did.
Yeah, they brought you out before the game, got you a jersey as a way to thank you.
Absolutely, I like my jersey. You like that?
How long have you been involved with this Mason program?
Well, you know, I've actually been involved with Mason off and on over the last several years, not so much with the hockey team, but I just got involved with that, and it's really been exciting. But I've been a very big fan of George Mason for quite a few years now.
We're enjoyed being part of this, and we feel like the future can be real bright for Mason, and they can only improve from here, and we're excited to be a part of it.
We are excited, too, and thank you for having us around today. We appreciate that.
We appreciate the time, Mark, and thanks so much.
Okay, Will. Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you so much, guys. And some wild play as Mason's been able to go ahead and keep it in the VCU end. A couple shots on goal, but not able to score. And now the Rams will go ahead and track it down. They will go ahead and clear and maybe get a chance for a change.
And the Patriots are just going to try to, get a man in front on this power play, maybe get some screen opportunities, some tips, some shots on the point. Just got to control it in the zone.
We were remiss to say there was that penalty on VCU, and they'll go ahead and dump it in and make Mason reset. 52 seconds and counting down in this power play as George Mason looking for the equalizer. That one thrown on net by Mandeville, not there. Baker looks to keep it in, dives for it, he'll get out, and now maybe a chance for VCU coming down the ice. A nice move, backhand, that one will find the back of the net, and it'll be Matt Colombo with the hat trick. All three of the goals for VCU scored by number 26. Colombo showing why he's one of the better goal scorers on this Rams team.
And Rodrigo, when coming down on the line, he just needs to tie that guy up. You have man strength. You're on a power play. Just need to tie him up and not give him a breakaway.
So the shorthanded goal by Matt Colombo has all the scores for VCU.
And that was a nice goal by him, a little bit of deke, top right shot, roofed it. So, you know, he capitalized on an opportunity.
Giving up that opportunity, really a tough one for Mason. Had a chance looking to score that goal, give up the shorthander, and now just a little over 15 seconds left in the power play. Mason going to go ahead and look to get a score here. He'll dump it in, and it'll be knocked out by a VCU, and that should do it for the power play as Fagerquist gives it off to Bach. He'll take it back up.
And that goal just goes to show you that one mistake can lead to a lead or, you know, any kind of goal.
And Bach with the high shot, be chased down in the corner. Rudzinski fighting alongside Dillon for the puck. Now Gassel comes in. Four-man scrum trying to get the puck loose. And eventually VCU will control out of that scrum, but brought back by Rudzinski. And now VCU, again, looking for a scoring opportunity. This time it'll be Williams. Loses control of the puck, but it'll be brought back by Horrocks behind the net. And Horrocks behind the back pass. Shot that one blocker to side.
That was a good save. That was a nice shot to the top left corner.
It looked like it was an attempt at the redirect there, but ended up getting the blocker instead, and Fagerquist able to go ahead and knock it away. It hits the netting behind the net, so we'll have the face-off in the Mason end.
And going to the shots, you know, VCU only has 15 shots, but they've all been pretty quality opportunities, being able to set it up in the zone and, you know, capitalize on really good shots.
Face-off won by Mason, and Mandeville throws it around behind the net, trying to get it out. Be controlled by Baker. Use the net as a screen, trying to get things loose, and Prindle go over his stick, but gets out of the zone. And VCU will go ahead and have to reset. Looks like Mason will change up a few players. Centering pass, Chance. That one will be blocked aside with a stick, one of the defensemen. Chance again can't get it to go home, and Mason getting some shots, but just not able to get a good shot on goal, getting a good piece of the puck. Fight for Baker, good stick work to get the puck loose. And VCU able to keep it in.
And these odd man breaks by VCU seem to be working out really well for them right now.
A lot of quality scoring chances. Mandeville gets it taken away. Now a little bit of a 2-on-1. Bouncing puck goes over the sticks, though. Good for Mason. And now Mason maybe with the numbers going the other way as Talbot has it. Looking in, coming in on the left wing, looking for the shot. Can't get it to go, and it'll be knocked aside. Adams comes with the puck.
It was a great opportunity by Talbot and great save by Arsenal.
Some numbers for VCU. Greenfield couldn't keep it. Looking, almost thought would go for the wraparound there, but came off the stick. Maybe Mason dodging a bullet. Already down 2 goals. Bach using the speed, coming up and getting the puck, and it will have a whistle. And we will see what that is, but first we want to remind you that David Stinson Sr. is your local Geico representative with more than 30 years experience. Stinson is more than just an insurance rep. He's a member of your community with offices in Gainesville and coverage all over Northern Virginia and D.C. For all your insurance needs, contact David at 703-754-3555. Face off in the neutral zone, controlled by VCU. Coming in on net. That one will be saved. Knocked away. Loose puck still out in front of the net. Still there. Mason finally corrals it on the defensive end. It'll take it down and dump it into the defensive end for VCU.
And it doesn't look like the pretty goals are going to be the ones winning this game. It's going to be a lot of the hard work, dirty goals up front.
VCU back with it. Shot on net, and Fagerquist gets the glove on it, then he'll cover up. And the face-off will be in the Mason defensive end. Remember to tweet your thoughts at hashtag GMU Hockey. That's hashtag GMU Hockey. As you see on the screen, tweet to us and we'll let your stuff be known on the air. What you're thinking about the matchup today, what you're thinking about our broadcast. Want to hear what you have to say. And remember, you can purchase a DVD by call of this broadcast at www.synthesismp.com. That's www.synthesismp.com. 6:50 and rolling here in the second period. George Mason trailing VCU in the second annual battle for the Commonwealth Cup. Mason trying to find a goal to cut this deficit down to 1 as Connor Gear with the slapper from the blue line. He'll be knocked off after he makes the shot, and VCU back to control. Into open ice and knocked away, but control back, and again will be covered up by Fagerquist in net, and Joey Whitaker able to go ahead and make a play there. And we're going to take a quick 10 seconds to step aside for station identification. You're watching George Mason Ice Hockey.
I'm Keith Fagerquist, and you're watching George Mason Ice Hockey on Glory Days Grill TV.
Talbot Naylor with the face-off, and it'll be won eventually by VCU as Greenfield will go into his end to chase the puck down. Now an edge loss by Colombo, the 3-goal scorer. The man has all the goals for VCU. Does end up hurting VCU. Now a slapper at the net by Ford, but he recovers the shot after it was knocked aside by Fagerquist.
And again, we see VCU's speed coming through the neutral zone into the offensive zone.
Nice block there on the shot by Rodriguez. Chance there, another chance, and Fagerquist able to knock that one away, really point blank right into his blocker pads.
Making a couple key saves there, though.
Now some numbers for Mason. Adams with it on the right wing. Shot will be blocked. Nice offensive play to go down and take it away, and then with a little bit of a check as well. Now VCU with some numbers. Nice defensive play by Baker to go ahead and get his stick in that passing lane and get the puck back for the Patriots. Long pass out looking for McFadden. They can't hook up. McFadden will chase it down behind the net.
Icing called off on that play, which is good. Be able to keep it in zone.
Can Mason take advantage? VCU comes away with it. And now Ayler going a one-on-one with Baker. Backhand, that'll be caught and saved by Fagerquist. So again, the glove working very well for number 13 between the pipes. Talus Group, a world leader in defense. The Talus Group is setting new standards of excellence in advanced technologies. Find us online at www.talusgroup.com.
And there you can see again that VCU is just using their speed and able to break past the Patriot defenseman right now.
Face off. Won by VCU, but back over to Mason. Rudzinski with the pass. That'll be taken away. Whitaker throws one on net. Sticked aside by Fagerquist. Fight behind the net. Actually, puck may be on the netting. Pass out in front. Backhand. That one wide. And Rudzinski comes back around with it. He'll shuffle it behind the net. End up over to Gassel. Check attempt, not there, but able to get the puck loose. And Gear was looking to get it. Now still kept in, though, by Mandeville, the slapper out in front.
Ooh, almost squeezed through.
Looking for a redirect there. Bach keeps it in. He'll dump it back behind the net. Again, fight for it as Gassel will check there. Backhand shot goes wide of the net, and a VCU player down in the corner. We'll see if he comes off. Gets up a little bit slow.
Looks like that hit maybe affected him a little bit, and then he comes with a retaliatory hit on Gear.
And your good eyes caught that, and it looks like really a silly penalty.
It's just not a smart penalty to be taking, especially when they are holding the lead right now.
And really, when you think about it, you know, with hockey, there's so many shifts, so many chances. If you're going to get the guy, maybe get him clean, or at least where the referee can't see you, as opposed to right after the play happened, right in front of the middle of the ice. Really a not smart play. Hopefully Mason can make this one hurt.
Yeah, hopefully they can take advantage of this. A lot of emotions running through everybody right now.
Another face-off, another one won by VCU. Will have to be chased down by Baker in his own end. Looking for the high stick. And they will go ahead and call that, and We'll have the face-off back in the Mason end.
Still a lot of time on the power play. Take advantage of it.
1:47 left on that power play on the penalty on Whitaker. Face-off again will be won by VCU, and we don't have the face-off stats in front of us, but they have to be definitely heavily in VCU's favor right now.
Yeah, again, what we were talking about earlier is that Mason just, maybe not the best at face-off taking.
2-on-1. That one will go up and off the ice, and a good job by Baker to get the stick in there and knock away the shot by Ayler.
Yeah, Baker seems to be playing his position pretty well today. Getting in front of the shots, getting in front of the defenseman, or in front of the forward, sorry.
Face-off again, won by VCU. Puck skated over top by Mason forward. That one will be knocked away by the stick and the blocker. Another good save by Fagerquist. He's faced actually even shots on goal right now, 21 apiece. And obviously Arsenault has made a couple more. That's why VCU has this 3-1 lead with 2:51 left to go in the second period. Now Baker with it, taking his time, centering pass, not there, knocked away. And we'll see Fagerquist go ahead and play it outside of his crease. Fight in the corner. Baker and Dillon. Mason will come away with it. Now Bach in some open ice. See what he can do. Takes his time, looks to center. Nothing there, so he'll circle back. Bach behind the net. Calling for it. Slapper, that one off a defenseman's stick. Mason able to keep possession.
It's good to see that they're working, taking their time right now, making good passes.
2 shot attempts, both knocked aside as Talbot had chances and the puck knocked up into the net. So we'll have a face-off that'll stay down in the VCU end.
And you can see there's a lot of scoring potential out there from Mason right now with Bach and Talbot on the ice, the 2 top scorers from Mason. So, they're trying to maybe definitely get a power play goal here.
I saw Nick Baker playing pretty well so far in the season. Baker with 4 assists and no goals. Obviously, he'd love to go ahead and put one in the back of the net now and cut this lead down to 1.
And that pass across blocked by the defenseman. That was a good laydown.
And now down to 7 seconds left in this power play. So VCU kills off another one successfully and getting close to 90 seconds left to go in the second period. Mason would love to get a goal before the end as we have another whistle, and that'll stop play. I believe the puck up into the bench area.
Yeah, it looked like it just hit off a player and jumped in.
Nick Rudzinski with an assist on the season, his lone score. Exactly 90 seconds and now rolling here in the second period. Another shot on goal, another empty net, and gets by. Good job by the defense to keep the VCU players from hitting that empty net as Fagerquist, he got going to the left and left the right side open. Again, skating in, nothing there.
And VCU seems to be working really well right in front of that crease area, throwing some passes across there, some shots, and it's working out real well for them right now.
Now a minute and rolling here in the second period. Long pass looking for McFadden, but couldn't connect. McFadden will try to chase it down. Gassel behind the net, fighting alongside Whitaker. As Whitaker took that penalty we thought might hurt, but VCU able to dodge the bullet. Baker chases it down in the corner. He'll come out with it. Maybe catching VCU in a bit of a change. Baker looks for the forehand, nothing there. Again, that one sticked aside by Arsenault in net. 20 seconds and rolling. Mason looking for a goal to cut it down to 1. Again, Mandeville.
10 seconds left in the period. Maybe get some more shots on net.
Baker able to keep it in with the catch. Throw it in front, nothing there. Again, another chance for Mason. Couldn't get it to score. And that will be it for our second period. As again, VCU adds on, Mason cannot. And at the end of 2 periods, our score, George Mason trailing VCU 3-1 here in this second annual battle for the Commonwealth Cup. Again, all the goals scored by 2 players. Matt Colombo with 3 of them for VCU. The lone tally for George Mason for Jake Vanderveen, able to score his 3rd goal of the season. But again, Mason's got to find a way to go ahead and get a couple more goals, obviously trailing by 2. Quickly, your thoughts on how they can go ahead and do that?
I just really think the story of the game right now is just capitalizing on your opportunities. VCU, basically 2 power play goals and then 1 shorthanded goal. And then for Mason, you know, they got to control the zone, make some great opportunities, but they're just not getting that control in the zone and being able to get good shots on net.
Yeah, and obviously we'll see what they can do in the 3rd period as they're coming along. But right now, quickly looking at our stats, 24 shots on goal for VCU, for George Mason, 23 for the VCU Rams. So really not a big difference there, but it's been the difference on the scoreboard, 3-1, as it's George Mason still trailing by 2 goals here here at the Prince William Ice Center. And again, we talked about how important this matchup is, as Mason, with a win today, really would be able to go ahead and pull themselves into 2nd place in their division. So we'll see what they can do. But before we talk about all of that, we'll go ahead and get an update from Will Fleming, who's down on the ice.
Here with the head coach of the Patriots, Steve Hijack. And Steve, at the end of that period, I thought you had a little momentum there, a little flurry to end the period. You couldn't bury the puck, but I thought something to build on going into the 3rd.
Absolutely. We've got to turn around and look at the positive we can take out of this period and carry it into the 3rd period. I think the ice cut's going to be helpful to us, getting our act together, thinking a little bit about what we want to do. I think we're also going to go ahead and readjust, bring back some of our forwards that we had put in defense, and we're going to put them up front now and see if we can put some pressure on their goalie. We need to make their goalie handle the puck more.
Speaking of goaltending, I thought Keith Faverquist played a very nice period, and he didn't get a lot of help early in the game. There was a lot of traffic in front of him, but I thought he stood tall.
Keith has been solid in that. I mean, he's technically proficient. He really has very good positioning. We've been very, very pleased to have him on the team this year.
A lot of penalties in that period, and obviously a power play goal given up. Have you been pleased with the special teams?
Again, special teams can only do what they can do. It's a very tiring exercise for the guys who are on the ice. The most important thing for us is staying out of the box, and we've had some issues with that, unfortunately.
Felt like early in the game, some issues breaking the puck out of your own zone, getting caught halfway between the goal line and the blue line. Is there something you can do to fix that?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really need to work on is getting our weak side wing to split their D, and I've got to make sure I've got my strong side forward, making sure that he comes down and supports the breakout. The other thing we have to be careful about is I noticed they started to try to send a flyer with a chip off the glass, so we're going to make sure our defensemen are aware about that.
Your team has shown fight this year. What do you see in the 3rd period?
Everything is going to be left out on the ice. This is worth 2 points for us in the standing. We got a little bit of a break here. We catch our breath, and we're going to put everything we got, to include the kitchen sink. We're going to throw it at their goalie.
And lastly, Coach, I know that this is a meaningful game for you, not just the 2 division points, but this Commonwealth Cup has become a bit of a rivalry and a big game for you guys.
There's a lot of tradition between George Mason and Virginia Commonwealth, and we think this is a great tradition for our 2 clubs to have. We've always had very good games, and even though we're trailing right now, this has been another good game. And, we want to make sure that the Commonwealth Cup stays in Fairfax County where it belongs.
Well, we'll let you go speak to your troops in the locker room, but hopefully that cup will be yours after 20 more minutes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. That's the head coach of the Patriots, Steve Hijack. Now back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Will. And back here in the booth, we are joined by a special visitor. No, they're not serving me soup today. This is the Commonwealth Cup. We got our first close-up look at this. And obviously, this is something you've played for before.
Correct. We've had 1 game before, and now this is the 2nd game for the annual Commonwealth Cup. It's, as we talked about before, it's very important to us, and it's very important to both clubs, and we're just both trying to fight for this right now. And you can tell by the game right now that it's been a good game, and that you can see the emotions that are getting to everybody.
Yeah, as we've seen some of those scrums in front of the net, and I tell you what, this is giving me a little bit of exercise here by holding this up. I have been doing my curls. This isn't exactly easy, and I tell you what, this can kind of give you. It's not Lord Stanley's Cup, but you definitely, I would think, have to kind of be on your skating, because I always say one of the things I always amazed by is when the guys, after they win the Stanley Cup, are able to skate with that huge cup over their head.
Yeah.
This could throw you off your balance just a little bit.
Maybe. I definitely think the Stanley Cup, they win the game. They're like, they have all this adrenaline, so the weight really doesn't matter at any point.
I'm not worried about the weight. I think you can hold it. It's just doing it, keeping your equilibrium and everything on skates. Anytime. That's the thing that as a guy, I always marvel at folks that play ice hockey, because all the things you can do on skates. And, it's like, yes, try to do that, but on skates. That makes it so much better. Want to remind you that with locations all over D.C. and Maryland and Virginia, as I tried to say, Glory Days Grill is the area's destination for good food, fun, and sports. Glory Days Grill is a proud sponsor of local sports and Mason Ice Hockey. Check www.glorydaysgrill to find your nearest Glory Days Grill location. As always, play ball, and of course, you guys wouldn't do that, but I know this would be a good place to put some Glory Days wings. They're pretty good.
Definitely.
I got to say. Also want to remind you that Talus Group, a world leader in defense, the Talus Group is setting new standards of excellence in advanced technologies. Find us online at www.talusgroup.com. Also want to remind you that David Stinson Sr. is your local Geico representative with more than 30 years experience. Stinson is more than just an insurance rep. He's a member of your community with offices in Gainesville and coverage all over Northern Virginia and D.C. For all your insurance needs, contact David at 703-754-3555. That's 703-754-3555. Now, quickly, Keelan, we wanted to talk about the fact that we saw Coach Hijack when he was talking to Will on the ice. No beard today.
No beard today. He shaved it all off today.
What's the deal with getting rid of the beard?
Well, he's been growing it out all season, and, we had a rough preseason, as we talked about, losing about 7 games. And last season we did pretty well, and we won a bunch of games. We made it to playoffs, and during that whole time, he never had a beard. So a little bit of a superstition thing, maybe we can get a win here with him shaving his beard. But I guess that all comes with any hockey player's superstition. Everyone has their own little things, the little pregame routines and all that.
What were some of your superstitions?
For me, it's a lot about, you got to get enough sleep the night before, about what you wear. Got to always take a shower before the game, always. No matter what it is, always have to have that shower. But for each player, it's different. Sometimes it's what they eat, what they do during the day before. But, that all drives all the way up to the NHL. Everything's different.
See, I was one of those guys in my football days. I did the shower before, but it wasn't for superstition. It was the only way I could get my muscles and my aching bones loose enough to get out there and play. So I had to go ahead and hit the hot shower real quickly before I got out there. But obviously, Coach looking to go ahead and spark things whatever way he can right now. Again, we want to let you know what you think about what's going on here at this matchup between GMU and VCU for the Commonwealth Cup. Go ahead and tweet your thoughts at #GMUHockey. That's #GMUHockey. Want you to let us know what you think about the game, what you think about our broadcast. Anything you want to pass along, we'll pass along here on the air. Love to hear from you on Twitter and see what you have to think about this George Mason hockey team. Also, want to remind you that you can purchase a copy of this broadcast at www.synthesismp.com. That's www.synthesismp.com. Now, Keelan also wanted to bring something up that you said before the game, and I thought it was a pretty salient point, and you were kind of wondering how it would affect the game. Today's game we played, the last time we did a broadcast here in the matchup with George Washington, it was played on the NHL rink across the hall. This one played on the Olympic-sized rink. Explain to the viewers at home the difference playing on an Olympic-sized rink and some of the things that maybe can affect a team when you're playing on that size as opposed to the NHL.
So the Olympic size rink's a little bit wider, it's of course what's played on for the Olympics for any kind of national team. But for a team playing on the NHL rink all the time, it's a little bit smaller. Maybe they're not used to so much space. So you can make a little more advantage of it, make some longer passes, make some plays. Sometimes it can wear the team down too, a little bit more endurance because it's a bigger ice sheet, and maybe they're not so used to it. And I know as a goalie too, sometimes the angles can throw you off because you're going to be getting wider plays the whole time, and so that might throw a goalie off who's never played in an NHL rink or in an Olympic rink before.
Now, looking at our game today, though, it has looked like VCU has been able to use kind of the breakouts. They've shown some speed. Is it maybe helping them a little bit more than we thought it might playing on the bigger rink, giving themselves to use a little bit more ice to go ahead and make plays with.
I think you're right about that. Their speed is actually showing to help them here because with all the space, they're able to take advantage of it. We've seen in the offensive zone or in the defensive zone of the Patriots, they're coming through maybe 2-on-2, but they're breaking through the defense with their speed and just getting around them because they have that space.
Now, we talked about guys who are doing some things in space. You have to mention Matt Colombo. We looked at the numbers coming into this one. Colombo was the second leading scorer through the first few games for VCU, and he's done nothing but improve those numbers. All 3 goals, so he gets the hat trick, one of those shorthanded. He's really been the guy, and really not a lot of scoring. We've seen some of the high scoring games, not a lot of scoring, but the scoring that's been there, obviously it's been him. Not the biggest of guys, but he's finding ways to score.
Yeah, and it's it's all what we said before, capitalize on these opportunities. 2 of them, one of them being power play, the other one right at the end of a power play, and then the shorthanded goal was key. Coming down on a breakaway, and he had that opportunity and he capitalized right on it.
Now, we look at the other side. We mentioned earlier Jake Vanderveen able to score the lone goal for George Mason. Vanderveen, his 3rd goal of the season. Talk a little bit about Jake's game, and is this scoring usually part of his game? We see him score a little bit in the season. Is this what kind of makes him a guy, or some other things he does?
He's an all-around player, and he's also a great captain for the team. He's one of the guys we look for inspiration in the room. He's always talking, always trying to cheer us up, make us happy. He's kind of one of the jokesters in the team, always making the jokes. So everyone on the team looks forward for him to do something, and him stepping up and making goal is key here because he's kind of showing what the team needs to do. And from his goal, you can see that he just threw it on net. There was that chance, a little bit messed up by Jake Arsenal, who's played a fantastic game so far, but that little gap between the skate and the post, that leads to a goal. And that's what I think Mason's going to have to do right now because with the way their goalie's playing right now, it's key. He's playing his position. He's making those saves. He's covering his rebounds. And, Mason's just got to put the puck on net now.
You talked about that, just going ahead and putting the puck on the net. Is there anything else we could see maybe from Mason in the second half to go ahead and figure out a way? Because obviously, they've had some of the chances, but just couldn't really get them to go on the net. Is there a way maybe we could get to see, Arsenault kind of going back and forth a little bit? In the crease, can there be something done in that respect?
Definitely some passes across the crease, maybe behind the net. But it seems like VCU is playing a pretty good game in their defensive zone, and we haven't seen a lot of control by the Patriots. So I think we're gonna have to see maybe some screens in front of the net, maybe some redirections. So hopefully they can get that maybe rebound shot in, put it in, bury it. It's gonna be a lot of hard working goals now.
Well, we'll see if they can do that in the 3rd stanza. We'll be right back after this short break. And welcome back for the third period here at the Prince William Ice Center. Jeremy Huber, Keelan Carpenter, sideline reporter Will Fleming, all back with you as we are underway. George Mason trailing 3-1 here in the third period as we've just gotten going. Again, all the goals scored by Matt Colombo of VCU, a hat trick for the Rams forward. Again, the other goal scored by Jake Vanderveen of George Mason. So Mason got to get on the horse if they're going to tie this thing up. Remember Keith Fagerquist in net for Mason.
Here we go, 2 high potential scores right here, trying to make a play.
And Bach coming up for the playing defense. He has the shot knocked away. This time another one will be knocked down by a Mason defender. That's Nick Baker. And he took one off the leg, and again, Mason with a scoring opportunity
Getting a hooky
here.
call.
You're going to be a hooky call, and they will blow the whistle as Baker skated over, but obviously, like you pointed out, Keelan, probably because of the penalty, he skated over that puck. So now Mason will get the chance to go on the power play. Of course, remember in the second period, that ended up going their way as they had the shorthanded goal from VCU.
Again, it can go either way, but they need to capitalize on this. And that was a good job by Mandeville, just skating through with the puck, taking the stick to his hip, and just skating through and pulling that penalty.
Again, face-off won by VCU as Rodriguez will chase it down. And Mason will have to reset. So, again, you talked about it. The face-offs been some trouble for George Mason today. Now Bach will go into the corner looking to get the puck using that speed.
And here we might see a shot from Baker. That's almost good redirection by Talbot right there. A little bit lower, it would have been in.
It goes up over the net and into the netting behind. So I believe we will keep the face-off in the VCU defensive end.
And like what we talked about during the break, they're trying to get someone in front of the net, get those redirections, those screens. And that was a good example right there.
Now it looks like, we mentioned before, Bach had to play defense because of some shorthandedness for Mason, but it looks like Coach Hijek's put him back on the offensive end.
Yeah, it looks like he's centering this line right now.
Oh, and Bach off the post, had a chance to score, couldn't find it though. Wonderful shot, but just hits the post. VCU dump it around the net. Kept in by Baker. Again into the corner, tracked down by Mandeville. And taken away by Whitaker. Bach chases it down.
Pulling through 2 defensemen, that was good.
Centering pass, that one backhand, almost into the net. Does it go in? The net off the moorings, they say no goal.
No, the defenseman actually knocked it down with his stick. That was amazing.
Yeah.
The hand-eye coordination to do that, to get that stick on it. And so it turns out the defenseman was the one who makes the save on that.
What a play, and sometimes just not going your way. And now,
that was a great play by the VCU defenseman right there. He saw the puck and he just knocked it down.
But I think they're going to have a penalty shot here. So they're going to say that the net was knocked off on purpose?
Maybe, yeah, that could be it.
Someone's gone to the box. We apologize. The numbers on VCU, they don't have the front or side numbers, so tough to see. And it looks like
Talbot will be taking this, and he's got hands. He can score. This would be key if they can score a goal right here.
So 24 in the box for VCU. We don't have a number, but that's not important now. As Dylan Talbot has the penalty shot as he comes in on Arsenault, looks for the backhand, and it'll be knocked away. Great save by Arsenault. Almost trickled in, but able to stop it and keep it from going in, and his players will be all over him, congratulating as he keeps the lead at 2 with a nice play in net.
And I know Talbot's shaking his head talking to Bach right there. They really wanted that. That's key in the game right now.
So excuse me, obviously penalty on VCU still being served, but under 40 seconds now left to go in the penalty. So Mason again with a scoring opportunity, but really can't get much going. They got the penalty shot, couldn't get the score. Talbot, that one goes over the head of the goalkeeper. He'll get the rebound. Again, shot towards the net. Bach with it, backhand. Again, knocked away by a defenseman's stick. And it will recycle. Mandeville back in front, and a glove save
and
a
glove
beauty.
Save. That's good because that was a pass behind the net. The goalie had to come over, keep track of the puck, and he made it. Wash it right into his glove.
And Arsenault just stoning George Mason right now. And at some point, obviously, you're on the end of the guy making the saves, but when you're playing goalie, do you ever see in the eyes of the guys on the other side when you're stopping them, just kind of getting that depression and kind of that hangdog look?
Yeah, and I think you can actually see that right now. I know Bach shook his head after that. You know, he can score. He's got a good shot, and I know he wanted that really badly.
Taken down in the corner. That's Radzinski, but no call. He'll get control back of the puck. Look for the smash home. Not there. Won't flick it towards the net. Again, knocked through. Still can't clear it out. Another redirect chance. Shot on net. Enough there. Still knocked around. And it'll go into the corner, and VCU will clear for a second, but can't get out of their own zone.
Again, trying to try it for these hard-working goals. Throw it on net. Maybe get a rebound.
And finally, out of the VCU defensive zone, but knocked back in. And Mason able to go ahead and chase it now with some numbers. VCU knocks it around. Mason with a line change. It'll be Baker chasing the puck down. Again, fight along the boards. Back into the corner. Chase in, play with the high stick, try to keep it in. Now maybe a 2-on-1 chance.
Baker with a good back check right there. You know, getting back in the puck, controlling it.
And that should be a penalty on Colombo, and it will be, as the referee will blow the whistle. And quickly, let's go ahead and get an update from Will Fleming, who's down on the ice. And we'll get back down to Will in just a second, but again, it'll be Matt Colombo. Looked like he lost an edge there, Keelan, and then kind of the frustration penalty stuck the stick out and ends up going ahead and having to go serve in the box, and that's big because he's had all the goals so far for VCU.
I mean, it was a great play by Baker. He got back, got on the back check, controlled the puck, and then was able to draw a penalty.
Now another shorthanded chance coming in, when it will find the back of the net as Michael Schrader, we were waiting for him. He's been the guy that scored most of the goals for VCU this year. He scores one there, and another shorthanded goal just kills George Mason.
And as we discussed again, there's the speed on those breaks, and he used it to his advantage, broke past the defenseman, and again, it's their second top scorer, and he has the hands to score and puts away and capitalizes the opportunity.
So Colombo had the first 3 goals. He's in the penalty box. His partner in crime, Schrader, able to pick up for him. And now it's 4-1 with under 16 minutes left to go. If you're Mason and Coach Steve Hajek, you got to get these guys on their horse. Got to start cutting into this lead.
And I know they've got to be shaking their heads. 2 shorthanded goals is something you never want to see.
Shot on goal. That one, though, never even got to the goalie, as it looked like Greenfield able to go ahead and get in front of that one. And he will take it the other way. Greenfield in open ice. Little check there by Bach. Greenfield still keeps the puck. Now Mason the other way with it. Bach, 1-on-2, gets it knocked away. And VCU controls in their zone. Let's get a quick update from Will Fleming, who's down on the ice.
What a back-breaking shorthanded goal. They targeted Schrader, the leading scorer on VCU coming into this game, and listening in on the bench during that power play. They're going to double shift Brian Bach and Dylan Talbot the rest of the way. The 2 assistant captains will see a whole lot of ice time. So trailing by 3 goals, Mason is really going to push it, and they're going all in. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Will. And obviously trying to get those scores as Bach and Talbot will go ahead and double shift and have to do something because they need some goals and they need them quickly.
Yeah, you're going to see Mason be running, maybe 1 to 2 lines now, putting the best people out there who actually want to fight, who want to work for the puck and, score some goals. So there's going to be some people getting cut right now.
So we'll have a face-off in the Mason end. Looking like it'll be taken by John McFadden, who will go up against Michael Schrader, the man who just scored the last goal. Again, 4-1. VCU leading George Mason in the battle for the Commonwealth Cup, the second annual matchup for that cup, as we saw earlier. Nice crowd here at the Prince William Ice Center.
Yeah, it looks like all the stands are filled up right now, and people standing around the boards too.
And have it taken away. Baker. Excuse me, not Baker. It was Connor Gear. Ends up getting it back, but then VCU back to it. Now again, VCU on the attack. That'll be Patrick Dillon. Centering pass. Gets through. No sticks on it. Baker will retrieve it behind his own net. And Mason looking to instigate some offense here. Down by 3 goals with just around 13 and a half minutes left to go in the contest. Long pass. Knocked away by the stick of the defenseman, and Baker able to chase it down.
Seems like VCU maybe stepped off the gas a little bit, you know, taking it a little bit, step back, trying to play a little bit more defensively right now with their lead.
Centering pass for Bach ends up on the stick of Mandeville, whose wrist shot goes wide. And shoot that one in, almost a redirect, and I think off the boot of a defenseman. Talbot fighting in the corner. And now Mandeville throws one, actually went off the stick of Arsenault.
It was a good block by him, cutting off the pass into the front.
VCU gets it out. This time it'll be Greenfield who'll get rid of it as VCU able to go ahead and change up their line. An edge lost. Backhand, that one wide of the net as Bach had it and lost it when he fell.
It looked like the forward caught his skate and kind of tripped him. No call on it, though.
Racing the other way. Talbot dumps it in. He and Bach got to go ahead and chase after it. Looking for the score. As Will told us those guys will be double shifting here in this final quarter as Mason tries to get back in. Rodriguez has it taken away. Some numbers for VCU. Looking for the pass.
It's a good stop by Vanderveen right there with the stick.
Talbot, Bach, 2-on-2. Bach right into the chest of Arsenault. He gets loose, but the whistle blows, and the face-off will be in the VCU end, but the chances not coming up for Mason right now. And really, Keelan, Mason out shooting VCU 29-25, but just can't find the back of the net.
It's not. Maybe they're just not getting the quality opportunities that VCU's been able to get. You know, with the breakaways, 2-on-1s in front. It's just a lot of mid shots. You know, just trying to get the puck on net.
Shot that'll go off the stick of Fagerquist, and that'll go up and into the VCU bench. And so we'll have a stop in the action with a face-off in the neutral zone. With locations all over D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, Glory Days Grill is the area's destination for good food, fun, and sports. Glory Days Grill is a proud sponsor of local sports and Mason Ice Hockey. Check www.glorydaysgrill.com to find your nearest Glory Days Grill location, and as always, play ball. Bach lost it, back over to VCU on the stick of Hirsch. And dumped away back into the VCU end. Again, numbers, Hirsch, shot, that'll be sticked away. Nice save there by Fagerquist.
It's a good job putting it in the corner, preventing any kind of rebound.
So I believe he got that one with the blocker. Passed on to Mandeville. He'll take it into the zone. Shot wide. Gets the stick back on it. Talbot into the corner. Reverses field. Back out near the blue line. Puck lost by Rodriguez. He'll hustle back to try to get back into the lane.
If Mason wants to win this, they just got to win these one-on-one battles for the puck.
Again, Bach coming down, slapper, blocked by the defenseman.
Another good shot block by VCU.
Backhand, that one no good. Again, looking for it, and it'll be Arsenault covering up.
And Mandeville just couldn't get the stick on the puck. It was bouncing around, and Arsenault was able to grab it before the stick was on the puck.
Talus Group, a world leader in defense. The Talus Group is setting new standards of excellence in advanced technologies. Find us online at www.talusgroup.com. Puck high into the air, tracked down by VCU. And again, some more open ice situations. This time Williams, forehand. It'll be stopped and covered up by Fakerquist.
And again, you can see VCU is doing a great job of spreading the ice there, taking advantage of this Olympic sheet.
And Dean Mercer made the start last night against Christopher Newport. And statistically, came out and said that he saw 60 shots. So we talked to Coach before the game. He thought that number was a little bit high.
He did see a lot of rubber. I think it was about right, a lot of shots down low, so maybe some weren't counted, some were. But they definitely took a lot of shots last night.
Shot off defenseman's stick, goes high over the net. VCU still keeping in the Mason zone. Shot across the goal mouth, no one there to go ahead and pounce on it. Again, shot onto Fagerquist. And now, breakaway situation. Gear loses it.
He kind of let up on that, tried to cut around, and it just didn't work out.
He gets checked in the boards for his trouble. Gear taking a big shot. Looks like he's okay. So he may be coming off. He definitely got the worst of that. Checked right into the boards. 8:45 and rolling here in the third period. Again, Mason trailing VCU 4-1. Bach with it. He'll dish it up ahead to Mandeville. Mandeville trying to get in. Ford gets the stick in, keeps it away. Shot on the backside. Can't be put away by Talbot.
Talbot just put it right over the net, and that was a great opportunity. This line seems to be creating some chances, and this is why Coach has him out there so often right now.
Bach back out to Rodriguez, off a defenseman. Rodriguez crowds it back in, gets it over to Bach in the corner. He'll throw it behind the mouth, behind the goal, over to Talbot. Again, VCU knocks it down. Mason going to have to come back out and reset. Well, Colombo back with it. Already has 3 goals on the night. Looking for some open space. That'll be off of Fagerquist.
You could tell he was looking for a goal right there. He wasn't trying to go for a rebound opportunity, try to bury it right there.
Looking for his 4th goal of the night, but Fagerquist up for the task. But still, now shots even at 29, so VCU's run off 4 straight. And I want to remind you that you can purchase a copy of this broadcast at www.synthesismp.com. That's www.synthesismp.com. Of course, we want to thank all the folks who are watching George Mason Ice Hockey tonight. So glad we're going to be bringing you this matchup from the Prince William Ice Center. Both players tumble down to the ice. Gassel comes away with the puck. Looking up ahead for McFadden, but goes over his stick, and it'll be controlled by Greenfield. Dish it off to a teammate. Contact along the boards. Baker looks for the slapper, but it'll be knocked down by Greenfield, the defenseman for the Rams.
And they're really looking just for any kind of opportunity at all right now. 7 minutes to go in the period, and it's a live or die situation right now.
Fight along the boards. Kept in by McFadden. He'll throw that one over the goalie's head. Contact in the corner. Adams trying to throw one off the side of the netminder. Nothing there. Again, throws it in front of the goal.
It went right through the crease. If there was someone there, it would have been a great opportunity.
Baker looking for the centering pass. Nothing there. And again, we've seen so much, Keel, in these VC defenders getting sticks, getting body parts in front of some seemingly nice passes.
Yeah, they seem to be controlling, the whole slot area really well, preventing any kind of movement in general there. Keeping the play to the outside, behind the net, and, they're doing a great job of it. And, if you keep the shots at the point, as long as the goalie sees it, they'll typically make the save at least 98% of the time.
Talbot back with it, shoves it back in. Quick line change, a couple players for VCU. though not a good one for Phil Williams. He tried to come over the boards and kind of end up on his fanny. Long pass up. Another crash into the boards down the defensive end. I believe that was Rodriguez taking worse for wear. Mandeville looks for the stuff attempt, not there. And again, another save by Arsenal.
And again, he just jumps right on that rebound.
Not giving up the juicy rebounds, as you know so well, really the death of a goalie, and he's kept those to the bare minimum tonight.
Yeah, controlling that is a key part of the game, and, you know, he's doing really well with that, and Mason can't get those opportunities for that second or third shot.
Again, 4-1 our score, 5:32 and rolling here in the third period as Mason trying to find a way to get back into this game, and they've really been shut down. A first period goal by Jake Vanderveen. That's all they've been able to get. And VCU trying to add to their total into the defensive zone, now taken away by Baker. So taken back by VCU now. Bach, a nice play. Maybe some numbers here. Bach throws it in front. No one there. Was looking for Talbot, but couldn't hook up.
That was a good keeping by Rudy right there.
Bach back out to Baker. Around the back of the net, Talbot. Can't corral it. He'll take it back out, Rudzinski. Weave here.
You know, as I mentioned before, you know, VCU's trying to, I think they stepped off the throttle a little bit, you know, not trying to play as offensively, maybe a little bit more defensively, but sometimes that can hurt a team. And as you can see here, Mason's controlled a lot of this game in their zone.
Bach maybe looking for the stuff attempt. Now he'll try to center it back out to a teammate, but goes all the way down. And it's going to be Fagerquist coming out to try and keep the pressure on. Be a change, and this will go right. The pass go right to Ayler for VCU. That one will be.
It was a great leg save by Fagerquist.
Patted aside. Now back to Colombo, looking for that fourth goal. Gets it taken away. Now Mason with some numbers. Across the blue line. Mandeville behind the net. He'll stop, try to dish back. Baker in the corner. Try to get himself some space, not there, then fans on the shot. And VCU with some numbers here. Possible 3-on-2, though Baker gets back. Colombo misses, he fans on his shot. Bach comes back with it. He'll take it behind the net to give himself some space. Dish up. Will be run by Christinger. Now back to Bach. Looks for the slap shot. Goes off Christinger. And back over into the VCU possession. Coming up on 3 minutes left to play here in the third period as George Mason trails VCU 4-1 as they play for the Commonwealth Cup. Ford out in front. Forehand, that one.
Rudy with a good job keeping the guy to the outside. You know, maybe not getting as good opportunity for a shot.
Over into the corner.
A little bit fighting in front, a little some scrum.
We've seen plenty of that so far tonight. A lot of contact in front of that net. And unfortunately for George Mason, not a lot of pucks going into the net.
No, 2:30 left in the period, and it's nothing's looking up yet.
Mandeville, no numbers, takes it into the net.
Tries to drive the net, just gets physically denied and pushed off the puck.
Baker, long pass up to Mandeville. Mandeville looking in for Bach. Taking the time in front, and what will they call on this? They blow it dead as it looked like it was going to be a goal.
That was a great cross-ice pass, and, you know, between Bach and Talbot, they both had it right there. And as you can see, the goalie wasn't able to make the save, and they're going to have a little talk about this at the ref stand.
Obviously, the whistle was blown, I think, right as Talbot was taking the shot. They're going to take a break. We'll take a quick break as well. Sort this out. We'll step aside for 10 seconds for station ID. You're watching George Mason Ice Hockey.
I'm Matt Rodriguez, and you're watching Mason Ice Hockey on Glory Days Grill TV.
And the horn you hear, they're saying a goal for George Mason. Credit that one to Dylan Talbot. His 10th point of the year, his 6th goal of the season. And that was an interesting play because it almost seems like there might have been a type of inadvertent whistle. What's kind of the strategy for resolving that in hockey?
I mean, like, you're always told, even after the whistle, and you keep playing just in case. And Mason did that. Maybe VCU stepped off a little bit, and that hurt him because it looks like the refs will call that a goal. And it was the exact same play what you saw in the first period from VCU, a cross-ice pass to a guy, and he just buries it in an empty net.
And really, it will be Talbot, but the referees really talking this one over. And Brian Bach gets the assist. So with exactly 2 minutes left to play here for George Mason, how much longer till we may see the goalie get pulled?
It's going to happen soon, maybe around a minute 30. They're going to want to have as much time with a man advantage. You know, maybe it's a good thing to see that the refs called this a goal because, you know, they want them to play, maybe make this a closer game. So we'll see. 2 goals in 2 minutes, hopefully.
So they're taking an inadvertent timeout there as Talbot with the score. So Talbot has 1 goal, Vanderveen the other scores for VCU. Matt Colombo with the hat trick. The first 3 goals of the game for the Rams. Michael Schrader, what's looking like a pretty big insurance goal right now. And remember, 2 shorthanded goals for VCU are really the difference in this game. Face-off will be won by George Mason as Talbot throws it in deep. And Mason looked to chase, needing a quick goal. We'll keep the eye on Fagerquist in the net, see if he comes out. He's still sticking into the crease right now.
Oh, that went right by the post. Good high glove shot there.
That was Horrocks. Now Greenfield, he'll look for his shot. That one again over the glove of Fagerquist. And now going the other way, and could we have a penalty there? No, we will. It will have a penalty as really not a smart play there.
Interference call.
Going to call interference on Greenfield, I believe, as Talbot maybe had a bit of a step, but it didn't seem like it was enough to warrant what Greenfield did.
You know, they're getting desperate right now, you know, getting a little bit nervous, maybe trying not to lose their lead. And Mason's taking it to him right now. He's getting as fast as possible, and that's how you draw the penalties.
So 1:25 left to go, 85 seconds, 2-minute penalty to Greenfield. Obviously, he won't serve that out. But if you're Mason, obviously you got a chance here. This will go all the way down, and the net is empty as Fagerquist has been pulled. So 6 men on the ice, 6 attackers for Mason.
Expect to see some long shots from VCU trying to get that goal.
So now, again, just hit a minute left to go. Mason got to find a way to get one into the net. Still need 2 goals for the tie. Long shot, almost directed in front of the net, nothing there as well. Behind the net, and VCU just looking to clear, and they will clear that one, and Bach will go down and chase.
And there's 35 seconds left in the period. They got to get it back quick.
Bach will throw it up, looking for Baker, goes off his stick, and again will be cleared. Bach with the high catch to try and keep it from going all the way down. Out across, Mandeville, the block knocked down, backhand wide of the net, and into the net goes Mandeville. And so 16.4 left to go as the goal comes off the moorings. And we'll see. Not a lot of time left. Again, Mason with the empty net. The 6 attackers out looking for the advantage with VCU a man down. Face off back to the neutral zone as Bach will take it. And that one lost, but Mason gets it back. Talbot back down to the defensive zone of VCU. Centering pass not there. And 5 seconds in rolling, looking for the stuff attempt. Mason looking for the goal. And it will not be awarded. I think, did that one get stuck in the pads?
It was in the pads, and then they just pretty much pushed the goalie into the net.
So 3.6 seconds left here. So really a miracle needed for Mason. Talbot will take the face off. And he'll get loose. And that will do it. As George Mason unable to break the losing streak as they fall in the Commonwealth Cup matchup to rival VCU 4-2. And again, a game that Mason looked like they had a chance at, but again, just a couple of the issues, really the two shorthanded goals, just too much to overcome for the Patriots.
That's killer, and you can't be giving those up, especially when you have the man advantage. It just looked like for 10 minutes of this game, Mason, they had control of it, and then they just let it go, and they brought back the energy within the last 5 minutes of the third period.
And again, kind of like you described from last night's game where the energy was there in the third period, maybe not as much as needed in the first two. And again, I think that may be something that Coach Hijack will be looking to work on with you guys as he goes forward, getting that energy from the third period up into the first and second periods, correct?
Yeah, and you know what? This was a hard-fought effort by them. And I'm sure, the coach would be a little bit happy to see that, it wasn't like a blowout or anything. It was a hard-fought game. And, something that can easily be corrected by working on your power play.
We shall see. But, again, the power play really biting George Mason a little bit with the two shorthanded goals. And you got to say Matt Colombo a little bit too much for VCU to handle with the 3 goals. And we talked about he was really by far the leading scorer for VCU starting things off. And now the Commonwealth Cup will be given back over to VCU as Taylor Horrocks with it. He'll go ahead, give the touch to the goalie, Jake Arsenault, and now he'll be handed around. And the Rams, again, the winner of the Commonwealth Cup as they celebrate their win today, 4-2 over George Mason. And obviously some excited Rams there as they'll skate around with a little victory lap with the cup.
I think they're going to be looking to maybe take a picture with it right now.
Well deserved with the win today, 4-2 final. And again, we talked about some of the quick stats. Shots on goal, that actually went in Mason's favor, 30-29. But again, the really important thing obviously is how many you stop. And there was 4-2 in our final score. Taking a quick look at your scores again for VCU. Matt Colombo with 3 goals, a hat trick as he scored the first 3 goals of the game for the Rams. Michael Schrader, he ends up with the final goal for VCU. The 2 goals scored by George Mason, one by Jake Vanderveen, the other by Dylan Talbot late in the third period, but not enough as it would be George Mason falling 4-2. And any other notes on the performance you could see from your eye? Obviously, you got a keener eye than some at things that maybe that Mason needs to work on to kind of go ahead and break the losing skid a little bit.
Well, I know they talked about it before the game about shadowing, some of the goal scorers, and it just didn't seem to happen. Those goal scorers got away, and they capitalized. They were left alone, and they were able to score. And for Mason, what we saw in the last 5 minutes is how they need to play all game. I think it's you just got to have a consistent effort the whole time. And, you can't have these lulls where, you just kind of give up, not play as hard as you need to be. And, that's when those goals happen on power plays.
Yeah, and obviously it really hurt. And not only just the power plays, but the shorthanded plays. That really what ends up hurting George Mason tonight. Like we said, the 2 shorthanded goals is too much to overcome for Mason, whose record drops down to 1-8-1 and 0-1-1 in conference play. At this loss to VCU. Obviously going forward a lot for George Mason to work on, but some good things to build on as well, as we'll see what they can do as they head forward in play in Blue Ridge Conference play. And again, we talked about that was kind of the big point by Coach Hijack, the early season games, some tougher competition, trying to go ahead and get themselves to go ahead and be ready for these games. Let's go down to the ice again one more time to our sideline reporter, Will Fleming.
Here, the winning coach, Michael Fisher. And, Coach, heck of an effort, especially after last night. You come in with plenty in the tank, and you take home the Commonwealth Cup.
Yeah, last night, boys fought back hard, battled back from 6-3 down to beat Catholic in overtime. And tonight, they came out ready to go. We wanted to win the cup. We won it last year. It was our goal to go home with it again.
Oh, your goaltender played great today. There was a lot of traffic in him. He stopped the penalty shot. It was just a fabulous effort.
Oh, he played amazing today. Stood on his head, made a lot of saves that we could have gone either way.
Felt like special teams were the difference in this game, Coach. You drew a lot of penalties. You got a shorthanded goal and a power play goal. Seemed like that really turned the game.
I have to agree. We work on special teams pretty much every practice. We just changed power plays this year to try and get more out of it, and so far it's been working out pretty good.
What does the rest of the season hold for your club? It looks like on an upswing.
So far that's 3 in a row. We're going to try and keep it rolling, and hopefully good things to come.
We know that VCU and George Mason have such a great tradition in sports like basketball. It's nice to see hockey sort of coming into the fold and joining in the rivalry.
Yes, sir. I have to agree completely. It's a good time every time we come up here. George Mason's a great host, and we love it.
Thanks so much for the time, Coach, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Jeremy.
And a very happy Coach Fisher with our Will Fleming down on the ice. And we're going to step aside for 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching George Mason Ice Hockey.
I'm Steve Hyjek with George Mason Ice Hockey, and you're watching George Mason Hockey on Glory Days Grill TV.
And again, our final score, 4-2. George Mason falls to VCU today. As again, we talked about the record for Mason falling down to 1-8-1 overall, 0-1-1 in Blue Ridge Conference play. And Keelan, we talked about it. We kind of ended up dicing this one either way. And I think, you have to wonder how much of the missing some of the players, but maybe most importantly, Justin Setkowski, how much was that a big deal today in the loss?
I think, it would have helped a lot. Maybe develop 2 strong lines at the end of the third period. That would have helped. It definitely comes down to those power plays where they gave 2 shorthanded goals. If those didn't happen, it's a 2-2 game. It goes either way from there. So, if they played well in the power play, we could have seen this gone into overtime, Maybe some goals would have changed, a bounce, bad bounce, and, Mason could have came out on top.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. Let's get some more thoughts from down the ice with our Will Fleming.
Here with Coach Hyjek, and the second year of the Commonwealth Cup, and did not go quite the way you'd hoped.
I agree. It would have been nice for us to win it. Thought we certainly showed some more offensive threats in the third period than we had earlier in the game. These are 2 teams that both played late games last night. It showed. I think neither one of us were really that sharp. But again, it's a 4-2 game. Very unfortunate we weren't able to bury that penalty shot and then to be able to turn around and even to score with the continuing power play. But hey, give VCU credit. I mean, they fought hard. They battled the whole way, and the shot clock was even. The score was close to even, but they came out on top.
3-1, a lot of time left. You go on the power play, and I felt like the momentum really shifted for good when they scored that shorthanded goal.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Unfortunately, our defenseman got turned around a little bit, and once that happened, their guy buried the chance, and that's the key thing. When a mistake is made, you got to take advantage of the opportunity, and they did that.
You really did press it forward. You talked about the additional opportunities in that third period. You flipped it. I know that you've been forced because of some loss to some players to pull some forwards back on defense. But then in that third period, you kind of put people back in their more comfortable positions. It seemed to really ratchet up the pressure.
No doubt. I admit I have not looked at the score sheet, but I think we had around 10 to 12 shots in the third period. So it certainly made a big difference for us in terms of being able to generate offense. And, the more we can keep the puck down on their end, the better off we are.
Well, it was a nice crowd tonight, a good atmosphere in here, and it feels like this rivalry headed in the right direction.
Oh, no doubt. We love this tradition. It's a great group of guys on their team. I think very highly of their coach and their program, and we're looking forward to next year, and hopefully it'll go our way.
Coach, we like the clean-shaven look, and turn it around here down the stretch.
You got it. We plan on doing so. Thanks so much.
All right, that's the coach of the Patriots, Steve Hyjek. Thanks so much, Jeremy. Back to you.
Thank you, Will, and of course, Will, part of the great crew that has brought this to you today. Of course, we got to go ahead and talk about this guy here, Keelan Carpenter. Thank you so much, folks. If you run a minor league hockey team and you do TV, get this guy. He knows what he's doing. This is his first time ever. Great job by you, Keelan. Also want to thank our overall director, BJ Kubarulis, our technical director, Jim Lepp, also our cameraman, Jeff Kozlowski, also Nick Plum and Sam Janesco. I'm Jeremy Hubert, your final from the Prince William Ice Center. George Mason falls to VCU 4-2. Good night, everybody.